All right, on this video today, you will learn how to fill out the HOA addendum. So again, we will come over here to my forms, come over here to the addendum for property subject to mandatory membership in owners association, also known as homeowners HOA. Click on that one there, and this is where you'll start filling the information out. So this is usually the first box we check. This can range. I generally will put 15 days here. Sometimes you can do 10. The only reason to not do a shorter amount of time is that some HOAs require more time to get the information to the buyer that is on here on the contract, and then sometimes they have to do a rush, which means the buyer may have to, the seller may have to pay a rush fee, and we're trying to stay away from that. So if you put 15 days, you're usually safe in that time frame. One is usually the only one that you'll ever use. We never use two. I generally never use two. One is the one I normally pick to use. And again, same thing, 2, 3, or 4, you basically never use those. One's the only one you use. Coming down here, as far as the fees go, this really doesn't pertain, this part does pertain, I'm sorry. This means what you're asking the seller to pay. Sorry, this is what the buyer is asking to pay. So the buyer, you're saying that our buyer will pay $100 and the seller will pay any excess here of whatever fees that are charged. So if there's a $250 fee charged by the HOA, your buyer will pay $100 and the seller will pay $150. So if I generally put 100, sometimes I see 50, 150. This is really the way that you want to make your offer more attractive to a seller. Possibly you could put a higher amount here, but 100 generally works. This section is the section that typically does not pertain to the situation, but generally I would just put it checkmark seller to pay for the title company the cost of obtaining information prior to the title company order the information. This usually doesn't happen. If it did happen, just check that the seller would pay for it. And that is it for the HOA addendum.